One thing has emerged clearly through the post-truth and liquid politics of these last giddy months, and that is a profound division about America's place in the world, the degree to which it'll be open or closed, isolationist or interventionist. To denizens of the foreign policy elite, the shift in public mood is alarming.
There's no question there is a changing political atmosphere. We've come out of the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan. We've been in a war for almost 15 years after 9/11, confronting terrorism. And there's no question that there's a certain exhaustion about having confronted all of those challenges during that period and the price that we've paid.
Airshow season allows Americans to get up close and personal with the armed forces and their weaponry. And at this show in Florida, there was enormous pride and a feeling that America must pay to ensure its military edge.
We have to maintain supremacy, that's all. We have to do that.
Maintain it.
Yeah.
Maintain the number one.
But during the Obama years, defence has fallen considerably as a share of national spending, and the armed forces have hollowed out in many places. 2/3 of US Marine Hornets, for example, are not ready for combat due to cuts in support. And something else has been revealed during this election. Much of the population wants to put America first. At American Legion Post 310 in Hollywood, Florida, you'd expect people to be patriotic. Among older regulars here, we found a spread of views about whether the country should be solving its own problems before it tackles others. But among these younger diners, some of whom have been working with wounded veterans, the message on foreign policy was right in tune with Donald Trump.
We should not be involved in everything in the world. We don't believe that. Most Americans believe we should defend our own borders.
Our veterans are on the streets homeless. Our children are going home hungry.
If you go up into Appalachia, in North Carolina, Tennessee, you will see children living in hovels. Where's the help for that? I mean, I'm all for protecting the United States. I'm a diehard American. But, you know, to send money to people who are trying to kill us, to hell with that.
For those arguing for a continued American role in global security, there are things only their country can do.
The United States hoped that others would step up to the plate and be able to deal with it. It didn't happen. And our national security became challenged as a result of that. That's something I think the American people now understand, that if the United States does not provide that leadership, unfortunately, no one else will.
Southern Florida is as outward-looking a place as you could find in the States, deeply integrated with the South American, Caribbean, and wider world economies. There's been a good deal of protectionist talk in this campaign. You have to wonder what that might mean for Miami Port. The cargo trade there is picking up nicely.
We generate about 207,000 jobs, indirect and direct jobs, and we generate about $28 billion to our local economy, and we're hoping to generate more trade. More trade equals more jobs.
But as with military intervention, the tide could be ebbing with free trade also. During this campaign, there's been discussion of renegotiating America's trade deal with its neighbors, not ratifying the one it signed with Pacific nations, and for good measure, shelving its future European trade package. So does America emerge from this election with a more protectionist policy, particularly around trade issues? Well, it looks that way because not only has the right embraced some of these ideas and is opposed to further trade deals or favors renegotiating others, but a good part of the Democrat left also now agrees with that. And that represents a shift for any president who wants to propose any new trade deal to Congress and Senate.
Having been against it, it's going to be very hard for whoever wins the election to be for it, unless they make a whole series of convoluted cases. Now, I expect if Mrs. Clinton is elected, as it appears she might be, that she will in fact probably try and pretzel her way around to a position in which she supports the agreement she once supported and now opposes, which is TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But it's going to be difficult.
With trade, as with war, there are circular or recurring arguments in foreign policy. Little by little, though, the terms on which America deals with other powers are changing, and there's a deeper debate that awaits the country. Over on one side of the Stewart Air Show, you were transported back to the Vietnam War. For years after that debacle, it was said that America would not intervene, that it feared the body bag.
You know, we lost 5, I was one of them, we lost 5 bombers on it.
Bill Arcuri was shot down over Vietnam and became a prisoner of war. He's concerned about today's public mood.
It's important that, you know, we do things for our own people, but it's also important that I don't believe in isolationism. We have to, the world in general is a lot smaller. You know, you get on a plane and you're in Europe in a couple hours. We have to be involved.
What we haven't heard much of during this campaign is concern about the degree to which America's power, military and economic, is now being eclipsed by the likes of China and even Russia. That perhaps is a truth too bitter for many Americans to digest, for now at least. And whoever wins tomorrow, there are certain realities in terms of the decay of American power and the rise of others that will condition future policies.
After 8 years of Barack Obama and failing to deal with those things, and viewing that, by the way, as a policy in and of itself, if we have another president that refuses to engage with the challenges that we see the world over, we are going to be in a period of decline, and it will be very, very difficult for us to turn that around.
Elections in this country inevitably lead each side to caricature the opinions of the other and the risks of voting for them. At the deeper level, though, this campaign has shifted the ground, a little further away from America's sometime muscular altruism and closer to the idea of America first.